YouTube, it's Satch. Welcome to Driver 81. You join me in the cockpit of the 986 Porsche Boxster, and this video is dedicated to 8 cheap or free modifications that you can do to your 986 Boxster. Let's do business. So here in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is in northern England, it's mid-April and Boxster owners all over the country and indeed all over the world will be getting their cars ready for the summer. A lot of Boxster owners will choose to keep their cars garaged up and only bring them out late spring through the summer. And while I can afford that luxury on my 911, unfortunately my garage is only big enough for one car, so the Boxster has to stay outside during the winter months, but that's okay, it fares really well. And as the title suggests, this video will give you a few hints and tips as to what you can do to your Boxster and how you can prepare your Boxster over the coming months, which will be really cheap to do or indeed even free. So let's start with a couple of free ones. The first free modification that you can do is what they call the D-Snorkel. Now, if you have a right-hand drive car like this is, you'll find it on the passenger side. If you have a left-hand drive car, you'll find it on also the left side, but it'll be the driver's side. And basically what this is a plastic tube which you need to access by removing the grille on the side, the intake grille. So remove that, then you'll be able to remove a black plastic pipe which kind of restricts the airflow. So once you've removed that, put the vent back on and you'll notice possibly a little bit more power, a little bit more horsepower. I kind of doubt that, but it does sound really good at around about 4,000 RPM. So try it before you take the Snorkel out and then try it afterwards. You'll probably notice a bit of difference and the car might feel just that little bit pokier. Okay, the second modification that you can do for free is called the Coils mod, and this basically enables you to have a better sounding, sportier exhaust. This is the 2.7 model that we're in right now, and to be honest with you, the exhaust sound doesn't sound too great, and without having to go out and spend £1,000 on a new exhaust, obviously there are a few things that you can do. The D-Snorkel one, which I've already mentioned, and the second one is the Coils mod, whereby you need to basically go behind the vehicle into the exhaust and poke a hole in each of the exhaust outlets, and this again will increase the airflow and give the car a much better sound. The one drawback of this is that it has been reported that you do get sometimes a drone at say 2,500–3,000 RPM. I've not done the modification myself. I am going to do it, so I'll be able to report back on that once I've done that. Reports on this modification state that it can add up to 10 brake horsepower. Again, I find that very questionable. I'd be very surprised even if it added a couple of horsepower, but the main thing you're getting out of this modification is that it sounds a lot better. You're getting a really good sound from the standard exhaust. Okay, the third modification on your 986 will be the short shift kit. This will allow you to have shorter throws and a more precise feel to the gear stick when you're actually shifting through the gears. Anybody who's got a 986 will know over time that the gear stick can feel quite loose and a little bit wobbly and not really precise as you would like it to be in a small sports car. Get this short shift kit. This will cost you £35, and then obviously you've got to go ahead and fit it yourself. However, I'm going to be doing this in the next few weeks and I can't wait to get this done because the reports I've read, the reviews I've read are absolutely fantastic. For the money you pay for the modification, it gives you a whole load more of excitement and precise feel to changing the gears. Okay, the next modification will cost you probably around 200 to 250 pounds, depending on whether A, you need it to be done or not. It's been done in the past or recently, but it is the spark plugs and the ignition coils. Now, the spark plugs and the ignition coils are serviceable items, so you will need to change them in any case, but be careful when buying parts. Try and spend that little bit more money on the quality Bosch spark plugs and the Beru ignition coils. The saying goes, buy cheap, buy twice. I'm not saying that's going to be the case with the cheaper ignition coils, but I would always go with the performance and high-end parts. It's a Porsche after all. You don't want to be scrimping and scraping for parts when it comes to your Porsche. Okay, so the next modification again relates to airflow. It's going to make the sound of your engine sound that little bit crispier. It is a performance air filter. Now this will cost you about 50 to 60 pounds if you're getting a K&N air filter. You can get a Piper Cross one as well. They are probably a bit cheaper. At the minute in this car, I've just got a standard air filter, but I am going to be putting a Meteor airflow filter in there as well. All right, next up is a little bit of aesthetics. I think opinion is completely divided when it comes to this one, because a lot of people you speak to say that they don't like this modification, and others say you have to do it. It's basically the de-amberization of the front lights. So you've got the indicators on the side of the car and also the orange indicators at the front of the headlights. Now I've taken the steps to remove these on this car. So what I've done is I've put clear side repeaters on, and I've also bought a new set of front headlights which have had the orange indicator section removed from the front. It is something you can do yourself. Even if your indicators are orange, there's a few guides online to whereby you can use certain types of sandpaper and certain techniques to actually rub off the orange and create a smooth, clear finish on it. So that's worth looking at if you think that's something that you might be interested in for your car. Okay, so we've got 3 more to get through. The next up is this little baby. Cheap and it works. Red X. It's going to allow you to save fuel in the long run. It's going to clean your injectors, and it's going to reduce your engine emissions. That is a good little additive to add to your fuel if you want to get your emissions down and also clean the injectors. That's also good for restoring a bit of the lost engine power that each car loses over the years. It's one of the trusted and tried and trusted techniques that people have done before and after tests on a rolling road, and it can gain you about 4 to 5 brake horsepower that the car has previously lost over the years. So that is a really, really cheap modification, not really a modification, but an additive to put in, and it may well feel like a modification because you may well get a bit of increased performance out of that. Okay, second to last is an aesthetic thing. What I've done on this car is the rear wheels, they kind of sit inside the arch a little bit too much for my liking. So I've put on a set of 20mm spacers, and that basically allows the rear wheels to sort of fill the arch that little bit better and sort of sit a little bit more flush with the rest of the car, instead of looking sort of like they're too small and it's inside the wheel arch. They look really good. They'll cost you about £50. Go for hub centric wheel spacers. Those are the ones which are going to balance your car correctly and make sure you don't get any shake or rattles when you're actually driving the car at speed. And last but not least is something that I would recommend to every single Boxster user or owner, whether you are into keeping your car completely standard, whether you're heavily modifying your car, or whether you look to maintain the car yourself, or you want to just basically upkeep the general health of your car. And it is this tool here. This is the Foxwell NT510 kit. What I'm going to do is put the link to this in the link directly below this video. I'll put it in the comments box as well. And it's basically a diagnostic tool which succeeds where other diagnostic tools fail. A lot of other diagnostic tools will not allow you to correctly diagnose, connect to the specific modules within the Porsche 986 Boxster. The same applies actually to the 996, 911. But other kits like the iCar soft kits, they are not going to connect to systems like the ABS or the airbag systems and even some engine systems. This kit will allow you to connect to all of those without any issues whatsoever. It's been tried, it's been tested on 996s and 986s, and it succeeds, as I say, where others fail. So if you're looking for a diagnostic tool, it'll also give you live data on your car. So it's going to tell you, the status of like your MAF sensors, your O2 sensors, your injectors, things like that. It'll give you live data, tell you how they're running, and if you need to change anything over, if you get a check engine light, an airbag light, an ABS light, it's going to tell you why that light is on, and it will allow you to reset the fault codes to reset the warning light. So that's it. Those are the 8 cheap and easy modifications to do on your 986 Boxster. Get out there, get some of these tried. You'd be surprised about how many you can do of these on your own. Even when it comes to doing the spark plugs and the ignition coils, they are all accessible, so it's very, very easy to do yourself. All you need is a lift and a few basic tools, and you'll be able to do that no problem at all. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm looking to get up to 100,000 subscribers. I'm only at about 25,000 at the moment. Slowly but surely, with your help, if you subscribe to this channel, we'll get there. I do a lot of other videos on my other Porsche, on my Mercedes and other cars that I get come and go. At the minute I've got a GTI and a Kia Sportage as well, and a 911 and a Mercedes E-Class. But who's counting? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.